Hey everyone, I'm Dan from JazzComposersPresent.com, an online space where composers, musicians, and listeners come together to celebrate the music we love. I'm joined today by Mehmet Ali Sanlıkol, Grammy-nominated composer, multi-instrumentalist, and full-time faculty member at the New England Conservatory. Mehmet is here to show us how to incorporate rhythmic cycles into compositional design.
So today I'll be talking about a new composition I released, in fact, on my brand new album entitled Turkish Hipster. This particular composition is entitled Times of the Turtle Dove, and it's probably the most ambitious composition on this album. Now, Times of the Turtle Dove is designed in a way to balance a number of different related rhythmic cycles. Now, I have a musicologist / ethnomusicologist side to myself. In fact, I do teach a number of ethnomusicology courses at the New England Conservatory. Why am I mentioning this? Because the composition was inspired by an ethnomusicological discovery. That is, I found out maybe about a year or so ago, or a year and a half ago, that the turtle dove's call, and this is a particular turtle dove that is found pretty much in Turkey and Iran, really. That particular turtle dove's call is in 5/8 or in 5 beats, and people back in 15th century or maybe even earlier noticed this and created a rhythmic cycle based on the call of the turtle dove. This was the discovery, the ethnomusicological discovery, by the help of a friend. Okay, so let's listen to the call of the turtle dove, which actually, as a sample, begins and ends this particular composition. All right, so all right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, that particular cycle is called fahteh, which is actually the word for turtle dove in Farsi. What's interesting is that in classical Turkish music, we were not necessarily familiar with this 5-beat call being a rhythmic cycle. We know it as a 10-beat rhythmic cycle, or even a 20-beat rhythmic cycle, not 5. But having made this discovery, like about a year and a half ago, I decided to look into certain folk music, Turkish folk music pieces, and kind of took that the kind of 5/8 beats they have, or we have in Turkish folk music, and put it in the context of the jazz orchestra. So here is an example from Times of the Turtle Dove, where the call of the turtle dove is used in order to create music using a 5/8 rhythmic cycle. Now, moving on to the actual 10-beat long version. So we can bring up the 10-beat long version of it, found in the middle of the composition. As you can see, the rhythmic cycle here is in fact very much a kind of an enlarged, slowed down, if you will, version of the 5-beat pattern. Because if you think of this in half notes, okay, look where the bass drum and the snare drum falls. If you speed that up, what you get is, boom ka ka, boom ka ka. But if you slow it down, what you're gonna get is boom ta, pa, boom da da. So if you think in half notes, you're actually getting a very slowed down turtle dove's call with an added a bass drum hit here and there. But this version is in fact what has been passed down in classical Turkish music as a rhythmic cycle, and no one knew that this was connected to the 5/8 beat or the call of the turtle dove until recently. So this really inspired me to create this gigantic composition, and I decided to pull the 5/8, the traditional 10 for this particular version, and other iterations too. But before we go forward, let's listen to a little bit of how I brought in the classical Ottoman Turkish feel of the 10 into the jazz orchestra. You heard the 5, you heard the 10, but there is a huge difference between this particular feel and the earlier. And so I wanted to balance this within the composition with a different 5. In fact, there are all kinds of, there's a straight 5/4, there's a swinging 5/4. It's an epic composition. It's too long, and it has multiple sections. And basically, the design of the whole thing was a game of how to balance all of this, and so the final musical example I'd like to share with you is the kind of 5/4 I created, that is a link in between the 5/8 and the 5/4. And as you can see, this is exactly the kind of midpoint between the two fields. So we can now listen to a section utilizing this particular feel in the composition. This piece is about 16, 17 minutes long. Therefore, it is quite an extended composition, a major statement, but the real glue that holds it together and really presents something that is a coherent musical statement is how these different related rhythmic cycles are balanced. I did work that out first, and then I started filling in the blanks. So this is one way of approaching compositional design. Thank you.
Thanks for watching today's mini lesson. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos down below. To watch our full-length events and participate in live Q&As with our presenting artists, head to jazzcomposerspresent.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.